Francis and Ngannou did it. I predicted that Francis would KO Stipe, but I thought it was in the first round in the 3rd minute. And what's happening with a lot of these predictions is I'm looking at their previous fights and trying to predict, like, based off of those previous fights, what happens in this next matchup. But what keeps happening, what happened in the Izzy versus Jan fight, and now the Francis Stipe, these fighters are coming in and actually filling in holes in their game. Like Francis, one of his holes in his game was that he was a little bit too wild, right? He was coming out way too fast, way too strong. What did he do in this fight? He slowed down the pace. He took his time and let the fight come to him. The other thing was his wrestling. And I think the moment that Stipe knew that he was in trouble was once the wrestling was initiated. It was different than the first time. How was it different? Well, let's just look at how it started. So Francis pushed down Stipe's head, which he did in the first fight. And then what he tried to do was try to get an over-under hook against the cage. But what was different this time is that when Stipe kept pushing for the takedown, Francis actually went for a sprawl, and like a full-out sprawl to the point where it broke Stipe's grip. We haven't really seen this before. And not only that we've never seen this before, Francis actually kind of sent a message to Stipe. He said, hey, I'm not afraid of the wrestling department. I've improved. I can break your grip, but also I'm going to go initiate some grappling and dirty boxing myself. He went around, took his back, and started unloading on him. Well, I kind of thought maybe it would have finished the fight, but I had a feeling that it would keep continuing because Stipe, even though he was taking the shots, he was trying to defend on both sides and eventually got out. But then Francis goes for a takedown himself. That really set the tone for the fight going forward. The other hole in Francis's game that was a question mark, it was his striking. It was when things get heated, Francis throws a caution to the wind and goes all out. Like he tries to knock out his opponent. But in this fight, he did kind of the opposite. There was a little bit flashes where he did throw big winding hooks, but this time he took his time and it was very, very patient. How did he get Stipe? It was a combination of the uppercuts that he liked, but he didn't spam them. He didn't keep using them over and over again. What he did was he was much more precise in his jabs, but also his crosses. The way that the fight ended was, if correct me if I'm wrong, but it was a cross, and then he used a jab right behind the cross to rock Stipe. And then Stipe did something that he also did in the first fight, and that was throwing caution to the wind again. But for Stipe, what he did was he would march forward, and he would try to hit Francis as many times as possible, and basically go punch for punch with Francis. But something was different this time. Francis actually went for the chin and hit Stipe with the lead left hook, which was very, very crisp. You can really see that Francis has been working on his game. He's been trying to make an effort on being much more precise. Power is going to be there regardless, and we've seen power was behind his jab, which was enough to knock down Stipe. In the first fight, he didn't even knock down Stipe. Neither one knocked down each other. But like we see this Francis who kind of answered all the questions that we had for him. Now, what's next? Like, it's hard. It's hard. We're right in the moment, and we just saw this fight. We're really excited, but it's hard for me to, like, right now think of anybody that has an answer for that. John Jones, but John Jones, he, as of recent, he's taken hits. I don't know if he can take those precise hits anymore, but that'll be another video.